Let's get started. Hello and welcome to the Life Coaching with Ryan Book Club, episode 15. We're talking Fxck Feelings by the Bennetts. This is chapter 6, which is Eff Love, Fxck Love. And I'm going to go for a way shorter episode today. I keep passing the 10-minute limit, which is really not my ideal, because then I got to split up the episodes into smaller. It's no good. So I also want to talk about the best bits, just the best bits. So let's get into it. Usual format: what you want and can't have, and how you can get it. So what you want and can't have if you're looking for love is being most attracted to the person who is best for you while avoiding getting sucked in by toxic people. If you are in a relationship, what you want and can't have is a certainty that everything will work out, because love is magic and can change personality problems, differences, and maybe even the weather. Wouldn't that be lovely? That'd be so lovely. And you also want to have reliably great sexual encounters, whatever that is for you. Whatever that looks like for you, whatever a satisfactory or wonderful or great or fantastic sexual encounter is. Whatever that is for you, that's what you want all the time, every time. So if you're ending a relationship or you're losing a relationship, what you want is to avoid heartbreak, or at least not feel responsible for it. And to take all responsibility, opposite end, take all responsibility for keeping things going or getting them going again. So knowing that this is not realistic, how can you actually have something realistic, achieve it, get it, etc.? One thing you can do is you can create a list of qualifications for a potential partner, for your ideal partner, and then you can gather information about those qualities in a potential candidate and don't violate your own scoring system, i.e., don't let attraction trump common sense, i.e., recruit the best match, not the most attractive. Because I want to spend an extra moment on this. If you're trying to change the type of person who you attract and end up with, what makes you think that your usual feelings of attraction are going to help you? It's the silliest thing. And in fact, I love it when Brooke Castillo talks about, like, oh, I went on a date and the guy seemed great, but I just wasn't into it. And she probes further and says, okay, why weren't you into it? Well, I didn't feel the bells and whistles. I didn't feel this. I didn't feel that. And Brooke says, well, maybe the bells and whistles are the thing that's indicating to you that that person has all the fucked up qualities you don't want anymore, because you're still attracted to that. And you actually need to practice being with someone you're not attracted to test a different type of experience. I thought that was so fascinating the first time I heard her say that. So my opinion is, when you keep attracting the wrong person, the wrong type of person, it's an opportunity to just be alone with yourself and kind of figure out what it is you don't want anymore and what you really do want. Because in my own personal experience, what I found was that when I made those conclusions, people who were not good for me were less attractive to me, and I was more attracted to people who were good for me. But that's because I'd already processed a lot of that bullshit. So I was walking out with an intention of finding my right partner and had done the self-work to be attracted to that. If you are not in that position, or if you're a learn-by-doing type of person, which really ultimately all of us are, then being aware of your attraction and why you're attracted is super highly valuable. So, to continue, whether you are finding love or in a relationship already, accept people as they are without expecting love to change them. That is huge in my own personal experience. This isn't Beauty and the Beast. This is a little note I wrote to myself. This isn't Beauty and the Beast, and your egoic desire to be the person who changes him or her is just getting you fucked up. I was talking to a student about Jordan Peterson's analysis of Beauty and the Beast, because she went, and this is a 14-year-old, this is when I was full-time teaching, and she went and she watched the live version and she cried and thought it was so beautiful, and I said, what if that was an abusive relationship that Belle stayed in because she wanted to transform the beast to a wonderful man. And really, it's just she wanted that power. She wanted to be able to claim that her love changed him. And how many Belles are out in the world who are trying to change that beast, and all they get is abuse. And she went, oh crap, it's not so touching anymore. And I said, yeah, basically she was lucky. Know what you need and make sure your love or potential love already has it. Don't get into a relationship expecting, oh, he'll develop the ability to love me the right way, or she'll develop the ability to love me the right way. You can't count on that. Those qualities, those traits should already be there if those are your needs. Be honest with yourself about whether or not continuing is a healthy option. And if not, apply the lessons you learned in this relationship or this experiment, if it wasn't a full relationship, to the next one. Easier said than done. And there's a whole section on healthy sex, and I integrated a couple of the tidbits into my overview, but I wanted to put a special addendum at the end of this episode, because I think in our present culture, which some people call hookup culture, but let's be real, this has been true for a few generations. It's just more visible, and therefore there's more social proof. So more people feel comfortable doing it and talking about doing it, as opposed to just doing it and not telling anyone they're doing it. I wanted to address our collective need for validation through physical intimacy, unless you're asexual, and how we confuse that love and sex because we're looking for validation. And I wanted to read a couple points verbatim from what the Bennetts said, their kind of opinion, as it were, on how to approach healthy sex, that I wish that this could be broadcast to everyone who is just pre-sexual and about to either be sexually active or participate more, experiencing more sexual desire. Because if you learn this ahead of time, you're going to save yourself a lot of trouble. One, an ability to turn down sex when you know it will hurt someone, including yourself. I think it's highly probable that each of us has been in an experience as an adult, by the time we're an adult, where we got into some kind of sexual encounter because we thought it would make the other person feel good, or it would make us feel good, when really it would just lead to long-term harm. So the short-term benefit really was not worth the long-term harm. Learn to spot real vulnerability, yours or your potential partner's, to possible damage caused by so-called casual hookups. It's an extension of what I just said. Avoid sex if it endangers your heart. You may be involving yourself in a relationship, and you think, oh, I'll just be a casual hookup, again, but then you catch feelings, and you get all fucked up. Because ultimately, I think most of us want that feeling of security. And so we're like, oh yeah, we'll just hook up with a bunch of people, but then one hookup suddenly has more meaning to you, and maybe the other person isn't where you are. Make sure partners score a 10 for character before you let their sex appeal rating take over. This goes back to standards. List your standards of personal conduct and review whether you've lived up to them, because really, truly, at the end of the day, it matters more that you know what you want and you know how you want to behave, and you hold yourself to that standard. And those, I think, were just some suggestions about how you might create that personal ethic before you engage with other people. All that being said, my question to you all is, how do you feel about your love lives right now? What is good, and what's holding you back from it being better? Let me know in the comments. I will catch you next time, and I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day. Ciao.